Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful card with a Don Hauser My Mother's Dress rubber stamp. So the first thing you need to do is take some ivory cardstock and take a sheet that is 8.5 by 11 and cut it in half. And then score it at the halfway point, which is 4¼ inches. So after you cut the paper in half, the 8.5 by 11, you will have a piece that is 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, and then score at 4¼ inches. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp the dress image in dye ink so that we can add the glitter and allow it to dry, and then we'll assemble the rest of the pieces. So I have dye ink. Make sure to get it completely covered. And this piece is actually the same size as the rubber stamp. So this piece is 4 inches by 3.5 inches, which is exactly the same size as this piece of wood. So it should be very easy to center this dress. So I just look around all 4 sides, make sure it's centered, and then press. And you don't want it to stick to the stamp, so I put my finger under the stamp and then lift quickly, and you'll have the image. Next thing I want to do is I want to add the glitter to the dress. And I'm using Designer Dries Clear Adhesive from Art Glitter, and I have a little metal tip on the top of it so that I can get my glue precisely where I want it. And you can find Art Glitter adhesive on the website artglitter.com, or you can find it on eBay. And there's many other vendors that sell it as well, but I prefer this glue. It's really easy to work with, and you can use the metal tip. So I'm going to carefully outline where I want the glitter with the glue. And on this design, it has a real thick black ink on the rubber, so it's pretty easy to figure out. You know, you just kind of follow the lines of the dress. And then I outline the bottom a little bit with the glue. Any place that has thick black ink, I usually add a little. That's where I'll add glitter. And then the glitter that I chose for this design is actually also from Art Glitter, and they're called Dazzlers, and it's a lot thicker than regular glitter, and so it's a lot more charming. It stands out. This one is called Biker Babes Dazzlers, and you can get that on the Art Glitter website, or you can get it on eBay or many other online vendors. So what I'm going to do, since I have my glue there, all I'm going to do now is just tap the glitter onto the glue. And I am very generous with that. And then tap off the excess, and you can see how beautiful it is. But now I'm going to set it aside and let it dry for 15 minutes or 30 minutes or so so we can attach it to our card. So I did that part first. So I'm going to set it aside. Take an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, 80 pound, fold it in half, and you can use that to recycle your glitter easily. Glitter can be expensive when you buy the good stuff. Then the next thing I'm going to do is assemble the pieces. So this is my card, and this card is going to end up being 5.5 inches by 4¼ inches. So it's just 80 pound cream cardstock cut in half, 8.5 by 11 cut in half. So the next part is I'm going to frame it. The more layers, the better. The card just looks more elegant when you add layer after layer after layer, whether it's pattern paper or more cardstock. The next piece I cut is a black piece of cardstock, 80 pound, and this piece is 5 3/8 inches by 4 1/8 inch. So I'm going to attach this piece. And I'm going to use the scored line as my guide to center it. And I'm just going to kind of look to make sure I have equal amounts of space at the top, the bottom, the left, and the right. And I do. And I'm going to attach it. Then the next piece I added, I used the Cuttlebug embossing folder, and this is the small dots. And this piece of cardstock, it's cream also, is 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches, and then I ran it through the Cuttlebug embossing machine. So I'm going to attach this piece next. And again, make sure you have equal amounts of black frame on the left and right, top and bottom. And be careful with these embossing folders because you don't want to press the design out. So if I press too hard, it will erase some of my dots and it won't be the three-dimensional look that you want. And then the last piece is the black frame for the dress. And this piece is 4 1/8 inches by 3 5/8 inches. So I'm going to attach this, center that, and again make sure I have equal dots left and right, top and bottom, and I'll attach that. And now I always put a signature on my cards. So this one says Handmade Greetings by Tammy, a limited edition that I will stamp on the back. And you can order these little custom stamps at paperangel.com. And they have just many, many, many to choose from. They're wonderful and very fast shipping. So I'm going to stamp this on the back at the bottom of my card with the dye ink. Make sure it's got plenty of ink, and then I'll stamp it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is attach the dress to the card. So turn it right side up, and I will add some glue to the back. And then I center it again, making sure the left, the right, and the top and the bottom have equal amounts. And then next, I'm going to tie a ribbon, a black sheer ribbon. This ribbon's about 1 inch wide. And sheer ribbon is very easy to work with. And tying a bow takes a little practice. It's just like tying a shoe. And then you can just fool with the bow a little bit until you get the loops the size that you want them. Tighten it. And then cut the extra pieces. And I cut them at an angle. It just looks prettier. And then the last thing you need to do is use the bone folder to fold the card in half. there you have a beautiful card that you can give for Mother's Day, for a birthday, for a wedding shower. Absolutely charming, and everyone will love it. And I can promise you, they won't throw this card in the trash. They'll keep it forever. Thanks for watching.